Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen, and this is the Litmosphere where I talk about books and all the things I love about reading. This is going to be my February book haul. I'm a little late in doing this one because my books got stuck in the mail that I had ordered from Book Outlet. We've had some really crappy weather where I live, and so we weren't able to get deliveries for a few days. But without any further delay, I am just going to go through the books I got. So I've got some books that are actual physical copies, and I bought a few that were ebook sales through my Kindle. So the first book I got is Vinegar Girl by Anne Tyler. I got this through Book Outlet, and this is William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew Retold. Now, this is from a series, the Hogarth Shakespeare retelling series. And this, I think there's 4 books that are retellings of Shakespeare plays. I've already read Hag's Seed by Margaret Atwood, and I absolutely loved it. I love retellings of classics, and so I'm quite excited to get into this one. So the story is Taming of the Shrew, where I believe it's one sister can't marry until the other sister is married, and the other sister, the older one, is a shrew, and nobody wants her. So this is one of my favorite plays by Shakespeare, actually. I remember when I was young, I had watched the movie Kiss Me Kate, which is a movie retelling of The Taming of the Shrew. I fell in love with that movie and read the play, and I am very excited to read this retelling. The next book I picked up is Night Film by Marisha Puzzle. And this one I've seen bounced around through BookTube a bit. And I've also seen some good reviews and bad reviews on this book. But this is an interesting novel. It's a story, but it also has case files and stuff. So I'm kind of intrigued by this. And this is about a investigative journalist who's looking into the death of a director's daughter, I believe. And so it's got some different parts to it. The director is a director of, I believe, horror films. And so this is kind of a film noir puzzle book. I am quite interested in reading the story. And I've heard that her first book, Special Topics in Calamity Physics, was really good. I am really looking forward to this book. The next book I got, and I got this one strictly, not strictly for the cover. I bought this one because the story was intriguing, but I only got hardcover because I love this cover. Wolf in White Band by Josh Darnielle. This book, I'm not 100% sure on everything that it's about. It seems to be about a kind of a mysterious man who produces these games that are text-based, and you can play them as sort of a role-playing text-based game played through the mail. And Sean, the character, guides players from around the world through his intricately imagined terrain, which they navigate and explore turn by turn, seeking sanctuary in a ravaged, savage future America. I've heard good things about this book, and I've been, I don't know, something about this book has drawn me in. So again, I wish I knew what really drew me other than this cover. It's so trippy. But I am kind of intrigued on this book. I'm actually really excited about that one. The next book I have is Leonard Cohen, Book of Longing. Now, this is Leonard Cohen's book of, I think this is his final book of poetry that had been publicated. And I'm not a poetry reader. I always struggle with poetry. I don't always get it. It pretty much has to slap me in the face for me to understand poetry. But this book is quite interesting. It's got diagrams. It has handwritten poetry. There's just poetry that looks like it's almost in paragraph form. There's poetry in I don't know what this type of form is called. I'm horrible with poetry. I actually don't recall ever reading a poetry book. So this was kind of an unusual pick for me, but I was out and saw it, and Leonard Cohen is one of my all-time favorite musicians, probably since my late teens. So I wanted to try this. I wanted to try poetry. I may pick up some more poetry in the meantime before I read this one. I have heard of some good poetry books, but I'm truly fascinated by this actual book. I don't know is that I'm going to understand the poetry, just because for some reason I just can never get a hang of it. But I'm I'm thrilled to own this book. I will see what this has to bring me. The next book I got, actually the next two books that I have gotten, I picked up the other day for the month of March. I picked them up in preparation because it is Canada Reads at the end of March, the competition. So I want to actually this year read all of the books for Canada Reads in advance of the actual debates. So I had picked up these two books, Company Town by Madeline Ashby, which is a 2017 selection for Canada Reads. And this book is about a character named Hua, who is uh, a bodyguard on a oil rig. So all the cities are now on oil rigs, and she's a bodyguard for this particular rig, and is hired to protect one of the sons of the families that own this particular rig. And so it talks about her loyalties, things that happen, and what is going on with this family, and the mystery surrounding a death of a friend. So I've never read anything by this particular author. I actually have never heard of her. So I'm actually really intrigued, and isn't this cover just so intriguing? I really love covers of books, and I'm really excited to read this book. The next book I picked up for Canada Reads is Nostalgia by M.J. Basanji, and this book is crazy. So in this book, it talks about what happens when you can live forever, or when you have close to immortality, and what that means in regards to your memories, and being saddled with memories over so many years and so much information in your brain. If you're living to be 200 or 300 or 400 years, do you want to remember all the things that have happened in those years as you age? And what happens when you remove all those memories? So this book is told from the point of view of a doctor who removes memories, and a patient he comes across who has had his memories removed, I believe, and is regaining them. It talks about who you are as a person, how immortality can affect us, what happens and when we don't have memories, and how memories make us people, and connect us to the world around us. This just sounds like it's going to blow my mind. I have never heard of this book. Again, one that I've never read this author before, but I'm highly intrigued by this. Kind of reminds me of Memento in a way, the movie, where your memories are so much a part of who you are in your life, and what happens when you don't have them. So this is going to be a very intriguing read, I think. I think this is going to just possibly mess with me. The other books that I got were books for my e-reader. I saw some of these come up on daily Kindle sales and whatnot, so I picked them up. I picked up Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst, and this one is about a princess who has magic and is betrothed to the prince of another kingdom where magic isn't allowed. And so, if I understand correctly, she's trying to hide her magic, but in the meantime befriends the princess of this new kingdom, and they work together to save their kingdom, and if I gather correctly, they fall in love. So I found that to be a really interesting premises in a YA novel, and especially considering this seems like a take on a fantasy or a fairy tale type story. So I thought I'd grab that one and see what that was all about. I also picked up Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, and this book has been on my radar for quite some time, and I've been really excited to read it. It's about a Lithuanian girl during World War II, and her family gets split up one day, and her father goes to a prison camp, and her mother, and her brother end up at a working camp up near the Arctic Circle. And so this is all going on during World War II. And this is a different side of the war, dealing more with the Soviet part of the war. And I'm usually pretty intrigued by those styles of books. I love reading books during wars or revolutions, and how just regular people were affected by all of these events. So I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and so it came on sale one day and I picked it up. I also picked up All Souls, a family story from Southie, which is a book written by Michael Patrick McDonald. And this book is about a family living in South Boston, where it has the highest concentration of impoverished white people, and about 85% of the residents are on welfare. So this story kind of breaks it down into gangs, murder, race, just the life of these families living in Southie, and how they're affected in their day-to-day lives by the areas they're growing up in. It sounds like a very interesting story. I'm new to this genre, so I grabbed it one day when it had come up on sale, because I'm trying to expand my horizons outside of the little community I live in. I think I'm getting a little too stuck in where I live, and so I'm trying to read more about the world outside of where I live. I live in a very sheltered area right now, and the longer you live here, the more you forget about the world outside. I also picked up Girl on a Wire by Gwenda Bond, and this one I don't remember too much about what it's about, other than it's about a girl who's a tightrope walker and her life in the circus. So after reading The Night Circus and Church of Marvels, I kind of just picked this up because those were actually pretty good books, and I'm kind of intrigued by the characters of circus workers, and I really I find them fascinating. The whole circus atmosphere and life, and the going ons of the people that work at circuses and stuff. It's almost like they find this little culture of their own, and it's so neat to read about. So I grabbed that one. Hopefully it lives up to what I'm hoping for. And I picked up The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. And this is the continuation, second book in the Bone Season trilogy. The third book's coming out, I think, later at the end of this month. So I picked up the second book from Book Outlet because I have the first book, which was given to me by a friend, and I kind of wanted to just have a set collection of them. I haven't read them yet. I don't know anything about them, but I'm really excited to read them. I think that's all that I picked up this month. I picked up Rewrite Right, and this book is just a book all about writing and editing. That one was just something I picked up for fun, because why not? That is everything I picked up in the month of February. There's more books that I had planned on, but I'm excited for actually a lot of these books. I can't wait to actually dive in to read some of them. And I'll be back shortly with my March TBR. Most of these books are going to be about Canada Reads, which I will explain in my next video, what that is and the books that are included in that. And I think I'm going to throw in a couple other books for that TBR. So I will be back shortly, but in the meantime, if you read anything interesting or fun in the month of February, if you picked up any awesome books, talk about it in the comments below. I always love finding new books, so feel free to discuss at your leisure. Bye!